If you've noticed your legs feel weaker than they used to, you're not alone. Doctors and physical therapists see this often after 60. The good news is this. Today, I'll show you 5 simple chair-based movements that may help you feel steadier and stronger, and you'll stay seated the entire time. These exercises are gentle and commonly used in clinical and rehab settings. Most people find the first movement very manageable. After 60, leg strength naturally begins to decline. This is common. It's not because you've done anything wrong. You may notice stairs feel harder. Standing from a chair takes more effort. This isn't failure. It's a normal change the body goes through. Here's what's reassuring. Studies show that muscle maintenance is possible at any age when movements are done safely and consistently. Leg strength supports almost everything you do. Walking, standing up, climbing stairs, getting out of bed. Your independence depends on it. Chair-based exercises are often recommended because they provide support, reduce strain, and lower the risk of losing balance. Safe movement is effective movement. Let me show you the first one. Exercise 1. Seated knee extensions. This movement may help strengthen the front of your thighs. These muscles help you climb stairs, stand from chairs, and walk with stability. When they're working well, many daily activities feel easier. This exercise is safe because you remain fully seated with back support. There's no risk of losing balance. Here's how to do it. Sit in a sturdy chair with your back supported. Your feet should rest flat on the floor. Hands can rest on the seat beside you or on your thighs. Whatever feels comfortable. Start with your right leg. Slowly straighten your knee. Lift your foot off the ground. Extend your leg out in front of you until your knee is as straight as feels comfortable. You don't need to lock your knee. Just extend it gently. Your foot should be at about hip height or lower. Whatever range feels manageable for you. Hold this position for 2 to 3 seconds. You may feel your thigh muscle working. That's normal. It's the muscle engaging. Then slowly lower your foot back to floor. Controlled and gentle. That's 1 repetition. Do this movement 5 to 8 times with your right leg. Then switch to your left leg 5 to 8 times. If 5 feels like enough, that's perfectly appropriate. If you can do 8 comfortably, that's fine too. What you might notice, you may feel the front of your thigh working, a gentle fatigue or warmth in the muscle. This is normal muscle engagement. It means the movement is working. If you feel sharp pain, stop. Sharp pain is different from muscle work. Muscle work feels like effort. Pain feels alarming. Know the difference. If lifting your leg to hip height feels challenging, lift it lower. Lift it just a few inches off the floor. Any height is progress. Some people start by just straightening the knee without lifting the foot much at all. That's completely valid. Small movements create meaningful change over time. Here's what's reassuring. You don't need a full range of motion to benefit from this exercise. Your body responds to consistent effort, not perfection. Meeting yourself where you are today is the right approach. Physical therapists often use this movement in clinical settings. It's commonly recommended for people recovering from knee issues or building foundational leg strength. This same exercise is used in physical therapy after knee surgery. It's gentle enough for recovery, but effective enough to rebuild strength. Many physical therapists suggest doing exercises like this 3 to 4 times per week. Consistency tends to matter more than intensity. Small, regular efforts often create better long-term results than occasional hard workouts. After a few weeks of practice, many people notice stairs feel a bit easier. Standing from chairs may require less effort. These are the kinds of functional improvements this movement may support. Progress might feel subtle at first. That's normal. Your body is adapting gradually. Now let's move to the second movement. This one may help with walking quality and hip strength. Exercise 2, seated marching. This movement may help strengthen your hip flexors. These are the muscles that lift your leg when you walk. When they're working well, walking feels smoother and more natural. Your steps may feel lighter. This exercise is safe because you stay seated with full back support throughout the movement. Here's how to do it. Sit upright in your chair. Your back should be supported. Feet flat on the floor to start. Hands can rest on the seat beside you or on your thighs for stability. Lift your right knee up toward your chest. Not all the way. Just lift it comfortably. A few inches is fine. Your foot comes off the ground. Think of it like taking a step while sitting. Hold for 1 to 2 seconds. Then lower your right foot back to the floor. Now lift your left knee. Same height. Hold for 1 to 2 seconds. Lower it back down. That's one complete cycle. Continue alternating. Right knee up, down. Left knee up, down. Do this for 10 to 12 repetitions total. That's 5 to 6 lifts on each side. If 10 feels like enough, stop there. If 12 feels comfortable, that's appropriate too. What you might notice: you may feel the front of your hip working as you lift your knee. This is your hip flexor engaging. Some people feel this more than others. Both experiences are normal. If you feel sharp pain in your hip or groin, stop. But gentle muscle work is what you're looking for. If lifting your knee high feels difficult, lift it lower. Even a small lift engages the muscle. Some people start with just a 1 or 2 inch lift. That's completely valid. Your range will likely increase with practice. Physical therapists often recommend this exercise for improving walking quality. It's commonly used in balance programs and rehab settings. The motion mimics the action of walking, which is why it may help with real-world movement. Here's what's reassuring: this exercise doesn't require strength. It requires consistency. Even gentle repetitions send signals to your muscles to maintain their function. You're not trying to build athlete-level strength. You're maintaining what you need for daily life. Many people find this movement feels natural and manageable. The seated position removes any balance concerns. You can focus entirely on the muscle work without worrying about stability. After practicing this regularly for a few weeks, some people notice their walking feels more fluid. Steps may feel more deliberate. Getting around the house might require less conscious effort. These subtle improvements are what many physical therapists look for in their patients. One thing worth mentioning: this exercise is often recommended by doctors for people who want to maintain their walking independence. It's simple, but it addresses a real functional need. Now, let's move to the third movement. This one may help you stand from chairs more easily. You've completed 2 movements so far. Take a moment to notice how your legs feel. You may feel a gentle warmth or awareness in your muscles. That's your body responding to the work. These movements are working even if the sensations feel subtle right now. The next 3 exercises build on what you've started. Let's continue. Exercise 3. Sit to stand. This movement is often recommended by doctors because it builds functional strength for daily life. What it helps with is standing from chairs, beds, and toilets independently. When this movement feels easier, many aspects of daily living become more manageable. This exercise is safe because using the chair arms for support is not only allowed, it's encouraged. Using your hands is not cheating. It's appropriate and smart. This movement is commonly used in clinical settings to help people rebuild leg strength after illness, surgery, or extended periods of reduced activity. Physical therapists consider it one of the most functional exercises you can do. Here's how to do it. Sit toward the front of a sturdy chair. Your feet should be flat on the floor, about hip-width apart. Place your hands on the armrest of the chair. If your chair doesn't have arms, place your hands on the seat beside your hips or on your thighs. Lean forward slightly. This shifts your weight over your feet. It makes standing easier and safer. Now, using your hands for as much support as you need, press down and stand up. Take your time. There's no need to rush. Stand all the way up until you're fully upright. Pause for a moment at the top. Then slowly lower yourself back down to sitting. Use your hands to control the descent. Lower yourself gently until you're seated again. That's 1 repetition. Do this movement 5 to 8 times. If 5 feels like plenty, stop there. If you can do 8 comfortably, that's fine. Listen to what feels appropriate for your body today. What you might notice: your thigh muscles will likely be working. You may feel effort in your legs as you stand. That's normal. It means your muscles are engaging. If you feel unsteady, use more hand support. There's no requirement to do this without using your hands. If standing feels quite difficult, use more support. Press firmly on the armrests or seat. Let your arms do more of the work. Over time, you may find you need less hand assistance. But today, use what you need. This is about building strength gradually, not proving anything. Here's what's reassuring. Many people start this exercise using significant hand support. After several weeks of practice, they often notice they need less help from their hands. Their legs are doing more of the work. This happens naturally with consistent practice. Physical therapists often see this progression in their patients. It's a reliable indicator that leg strength is improving. The goal isn't to stand without using your hands. The goal is to feel more capable and confident in this essential daily movement. After a few weeks, many people find that getting up from the couch feels easier. Standing from the toilet becomes less of a concern. These practical improvements matter for maintaining independence. This movement addresses a real need. Doctors recommend it because it directly supports the activities you do every day. It's functional exercise at its most practical. Now, let's move to the fourth movement. This one may help with side-to-side stability. Exercise 4. Seated hip abduction. This movement may help strengthen the outer part of your hips and thighs. These muscles support side-to-side stability when you walk. They help you maintain balance when you step sideways or navigate around furniture. When they're working well, you may feel steadier on your feet. This exercise is safe because you remain seated with your back fully supported throughout. Physical therapists often recommend this movement for people working on hip strength and walking stability. It's commonly used in balance programs. Here's how to do it. Sit upright in your chair with your back supported. Your feet should be flat on the floor, hip width apart. Hands can rest on the seat beside you or on your thighs. Start with your knees together or closed together. Now slowly move your right knee out to the side. Your foot can stay on the floor or lift slightly. Whatever feels natural. You're opening your leg away from the center of your body. Move it as far to the side as feels comfortable. You don't need to push for a large range. A small movement is perfectly appropriate. Hold this position for 2 to 3 seconds. You may feel the outer part of your hip or thigh working. That's the muscle engaging. Then slowly bring your knee back to the starting position. Controlled and gentle. That's 1 repetition on the right side. Now, do the same with your left leg. Knee moves out to the side. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds. Bring it back to center. That's 1 repetition on the left. Do this movement 5 to 8 times on each side. Alternating is fine. Right side, then left side, then right again. Or you can do all repetitions on one side before switching. Whatever feels more comfortable for you. What you might notice, you may feel the outer edge of your hip working as you move your leg out. Some people feel this more in the thigh. Both are normal. The muscle group being worked runs along the outside of your hip and thigh. If you feel sharp pain, stop, but gentle muscle engagement is what you're looking for. If moving your leg far to the side feels challenging, move it less. Even a small outward movement activates these muscles. Some people start with just a few inches of movement. That's completely valid. Range often increases naturally with practice. Here's what's reassuring. These muscles respond to gentle, consistent work. You don't need dramatic range of motion to benefit. Your body adapts to what you give it regularly. Many physical therapists see improvements in their patients' walking stability after practicing this movement consistently. The side-to-side strength it builds may help you feel more secure when moving around your home or navigating uneven surfaces. After a few weeks of regular practice, some people notice they feel more stable when turning or stepping sideways. These practical improvements support daily activities in meaningful ways. Now, let's move to the fifth and final movement. This one may help with ankle strength and walking. Exercise 5. Seated calf raises. This movement may help strengthen your calves and ankles. These muscles support you with every step you take. They help you push off the ground when you walk. They provide stability to your ankles. When they're working well, walking may feel smoother and more controlled. This exercise is safe because you remain fully seated. There's no risk of losing balance. This movement is commonly used in rehabilitation programs. Physical therapists often recommend it after ankle injuries or for people working on walking stability. It's also the exercise that's frequently used in physical therapy after knee surgery. It's gentle enough for recovery while being effective for building lower leg strength. Here's how to do it. Sit upright in your chair with your back supported. Your feet should be flat on the floor, hip width apart. Your knees should be at about a 90-degree angle. Hands can rest on your thighs or on the seat beside you. Keeping your toes on the ground, slowly lift your heels off the floor. Rise up onto the balls of your feet. Your toes stay planted. Only your heels lift. Go as high as feels comfortable. You don't need to lift your heels dramatically. Even a small lift engages the calf muscles. Hold this raised position for 2 to 3 seconds. You may feel your calf muscles working. That tightness or engagement in the back of your lower leg is normal. Then slowly lower your heels back to the floor. Controlled and gentle. That's 1 repetition. Do this movement 10 to 12 times. If 10 feels sufficient, stop there. If 12 feels manageable, that's appropriate. What you might notice, you'll likely feel your calf muscles engaging as you lift your heels. Some people feel this more intensely than others. Both experiences are normal. The muscles in the back of your lower leg are doing the work. If you feel cramping, lower your heels and rest. Then try again with a smaller range of motion. If lifting your heels high feels difficult, lift them less. Even a small lift activates these muscles. Some people start with just an inch of heel lift. That's completely valid. Your range will likely improve with regular practice. Here's what's reassuring. Calf strength doesn't require dramatic movements. Gentle, consistent repetitions are often enough to maintain the muscle function you need for walking. You're not training for athletics. You're maintaining practical strength for daily life. Many physical therapists observe that patients who practice calf raises regularly often report improvements in their walking. Steps may feel more secure. Pushing off the ground may require less effort. These subtle changes can make a meaningful difference in how confident you feel moving around. After a few weeks of consistent practice, some people notice their ankles feel more stable. Walking on slightly uneven surfaces may feel less concerning. These practical improvements support independence and confidence. This exercise addresses a specific functional need. The strength it builds in your lower legs supports the walking you do every day. That's why it's recommended so often in clinical settings. You've now completed all 5 movements. Let me show you how to put them together into a simple routine. Here's how these movements work together. Seated knee extensions, seated marching, sit to stand, seated hip abduction, seated calf raises. That's your complete routine. The entire sequence may take 10 to 15 minutes. Many physical therapists suggest practicing these movements 3 to 4 times per week. Consistency tends to matter more than frequency. What to expect? In the first 2 weeks, you're familiarizing yourself with the movements. You may notice subtle improvements in how your legs feel. By weeks 3 and 4, you might notice more obvious strength gains. The exercises may feel easier. By weeks 6 to 8, many people report functional improvements in daily activities. Stairs may feel more manageable. Standing from chairs may require less effort. Long-term, these movements may help you maintain the independence and capability you value. Progress looks different for everyone. That's normal. A few gentle reminders about safety. Using support is always appropriate. If something causes sharp pain, stop and consult your doctor. But muscle fatigue is different from pain. Fatigue is the muscles working. Pain is your body signaling concern. Know the difference. You have permission to modify any of these movements. Listening to your body is wise, not weak. Start where you are today. There's no shame in any starting point. If you need to do fewer repetitions, that's valid. If you need more rest between exercises, take it. Modification options are equally valid as the standard versions. Progress at your own pace. You're taking care of yourself. Which movement felt most manageable for you today? Or did any exercise feel more challenging than expected? You don't need to answer, just something to reflect on. Here's what I want you to know. You're taking appropriate care of your body. This isn't about fixing something broken. It's about staying capable. Small, consistent efforts make a real difference over time. You're doing something good for yourself. Take care of yourself.